Shalom, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us his truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful like Akim, teaching and preaching his truth with all righteousness and sincerity. This is like I was and today's lesson is entitled, Have Integrity in Your Low Points. The Lord willing, you be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, the true names of the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son. And as always, the sit downs, the lessons, the street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel of the Most High to use the gospel preached. So today we'll be reading a little bit of Psalm 77. It's a psalm of Asaph. And, you know, Asaph, he was a Levite and he was of the house of David. And, you know, he was, sighing and crying. He was dealing with particular things that he was experiencing in his life, but the point that stuck out to me is that he kept his integrity. All right, and our forefathers, they had the spirit of integrity. You know what I mean? And that's one of the attributes or the fruits of the spirit that you want to be begging Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for. So I have this word integrity pulled up. I will also go into it in a blue letter, and once again, Lord willing, it be edifying. Integrity. It says the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. So that's what you want to have. You want to have strong moral principles. And we get the morale from the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding in the scripts. It says moral uprightness. To give an example, he is known to be a man of integrity. And that's what you want people to say about you. Well, chiefly the brethren, You want the other men of the Lord to be able to say things like this about you. This man is known to have integrity. And the synonyms of integrity, you have the word honesty here, meaning truthful. You're being truthful. You're dealing with truth. Uprightness, all right? Probability, honor, all right? These are characteristics that you want to have. They have another second entry. It says the state of being whole. Another word for whole is righteous, which we're not perfect in these sinful bodies laden with iniquity, but the Lord has put the spirit in us, truth. So we try to follow after the way of righteousness the best we can. Undivided, you're not wavering, you're not being hypocritical. All right. And you got the word unity, you unify with the truth. All right. Wholeness, so on and so forth. So also got this image here. It says ethics, accountability, principles, integrity. You want to look up those words. We already went into integrity, but these are fruits of the spirit that you want to have. You want to have good ethics. You hear your job speaking about having good work ethics. You're doing what's right for the business. Well, this business that we have, that the Lord has given us, is a profession. So you want to have the ethics, have your schedule. Have a time where you allocate to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, reading, studying, going into things. When it comes to camp, you're on time. You're not going to camp musty, smelling bad. You can groom yourself up. Get your hair cut, trim your beard up. Wear clean clothes, wash your ass, put some deodorant on, spray some cologne on, or if you do the oils, put the oils on. You represent Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the king of the universe. Having principles, accountability, knowing when you're going off. All right, so on and so forth. So here in Psalm 77, matter of fact, let me type in the word integrity in the blue letter and see what it says there. Pretty sure it comes up. Should be in Job. All right. And as I was mentioning earlier, Job had integrity. Job went through all kind of shit, man. His children died. He lost abundance of his substance. His cattle was dying off. Then on top of all that stuff happening, he had a disease. All right. And at the end of the day, he had integrity. And his wife, he found out his wife came up against him. So let's get here in Job chapter 2, verse 7. So went Satan forth from the presence of Yahweh, and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. So he had these boils all over his body. And he took him a pot shard, a broken piece of a pot, a clay pot, to scrape himself withal. And man, Job, he was hard, man. Scraping these boils off. And he sat down among the ashes, man. He was brought low. Going back to the title, have integrity in your low points. Job, he experienced a very low point, right? 9, then said his wife unto him, this woman that he loved. He didn't, brought her up. Now she rich. She had great substance. He was living this lifestyle. Now she's seeing him losing it all. And then now look what she say to him. Does thou still retain thy integrity? Curse the Most High and die. So spiritual demon Satan hopped on her and wanted him to curse the Most High and die. But the point is, she acknowledged that he had integrity. So let's go on to this word integrity here. Integrity, it goes back to the Hebrew, thamah, that's the tha, the ma, and the ha, thamah. It just says integrity, innocence, all right, innocence or righteousness, all right. Has a root word here, thumb, tha, and then the ma, thumb. Completeness, fullness, simplicity, integrity. So completeness, righteousness, fullness, wholeness. We read some of those words when looking up integrity. All right. Came across the word whole here in the second entry. It says wholeness. And then the opposite of integrity is dishonesty, all right, which is wickedness. All right. So continuing on here and looking up the word integrity, we're now reading the root word of that, and its completeness, fullness, integrity. So this was what Job had. He had good characteristic, all right? And the Lord gave him that, all right? These good works, they come from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. It's Ecclesiastes 10 in the Apocrypha, which the Apocrypha is a part of the Bible. For you newly tuning in, Akim, when you see brothers with that red book out there, this is the Apocrypha. And the Apocrypha is a part of the original King James Bible, all right? So here in Ecclesiastes chapter 11, let me see if I can find it. Is it 11? One second. It's 11:14. Sorry, 12 to build up the vibration. Again, there's another that is slow, and he need of help, wanting ability, full of poverty. Yet the eye of the Lord looketh upon him for good and set him up from his low estate. So the Lord deal with the lowly, all right? And this is talking about a man in the truth. And lift up his head from his misery. So you're going to experience misery. You're going to experience a low estate. You may experience, poverty, not having certain things. All right. You may experience, wanting the ability, wanting to do certain things that you can't. You're going to experience these different things in the truth. Verse 13, and lifted up his head from his misery so that many that saw it marveled at him. So people may see you in a low estate, but then with balance, Lord is, had these same people see you, lifted up out of that low estate, and they go marvel, because the Lord, he deals with balance. Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord. Man's goings is of the Lord. How then shall a man understand his own way? The Lord to give you prosperity, the Lord to give you adversity, life and death come from the Lord. Poverty and riches come from the Lord. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Lord. Love and the way of good works are for him. So when we read about Job having integrity, those good works are from him. The Lord put the spirit on Job to have integrity. All right. And that was pleasing in the eyes of the Lord. What Job went through, that was satisfying to the Lord. So at the end of the day, you ask the Lord for these good works, these good spirits. This is not something that you do on your own, of your own strength. You know, Esau believed in shit like that. Of my own strength, I have gotten me riches. You know, that's the spirit of heathens. You know, so you ask the Lord for the good works. So back in Job chapter 2 and 9, then said his wife unto him, does thou still retain thine integrity? So she acknowledged that Job had integrity. You know, your wife, she know all your different secrets about you. You know, she lives with you. She knows when you upset, when you hungry, you know, so on and so forth. She knows about you. All right. So she knew about the integrity of Job, her husband. Cursed the Most High and died. The spiritual demon Satan hopped on her, was trying to get her to curse because that was the bet. You know, let's see if we can get Job to curse you, you know, Yahweh. You know, so Satan will work on your wife to get you to try to denounce the Lord, you know. But see, look what Job said. Job, he wasn't no simp, you know. He wasn't with that simp shit. Verse 10, but he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. So he checked her ass. You sound like these stupid ass bitches out here. And excuse my language. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of the Most High, and shall we not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips. So he didn't curse the Most High. And he acknowledged that, you know, you receive both sides. And we read about it here in Ecclesiastes 11, or Ecclesiastes 11. So the point is, Job had integrity. Now here in Psalm 77, the book of Psalm, you have a lot of Psalms from King David. You have a few from Solomon, one from Moses, a few from Moses. If I'm not mistaken, bros can correct me on the chat, comment board. And Asaph. Asaph, he was a Levite. So let's read a little bit of this, and I want to hit the point in the 10th verse. Psalm 77:1, it says, comfort in trouble from recalling the Most High's mighty deeds. You got to remember all the good things that the Lord has done for you when you're experiencing low points. The chief musician, Jeduthun, a psalm of Asaph. I cried unto the Most High with my voice, even unto my power with my voice, and he gave ear unto me. And that's mercy. All right, for the Lord to answer your prayers and hear your cries, that's a form of mercy. You can't ignore that. All right. And sometimes it feel like that. Sometimes, man, you cry out. You know, you literally cry out with your voice, man. And I've done that. And from my experience, when I've done that, which it's not a lot of times that you just yelling, but I've done that, man. I've been vexed in the spirit, you know, chafed in the spirit, and I literally cried out until Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And from that very moment, a dramatic change happened. All right. So the Lord heard my prayers. And as a testimony, you know, hey, sometimes you be vexed in the spirit, and you got to do that. You know, don't feel ashamed. This is your relationship with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. These people that's of the alphabet community, they're not ashamed being on the corner kissing each other, you know, walking around little children. You know, they're not ashamed. So don't be ashamed in what your relationship is with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. In the day of my trouble, I sought the Lord. You're going to experience trouble, man. You know, this is not no smooth walk. You're going to experience trials and tribulation. My sword ran in me tonight and ceased not. My soul refused to be comforted. So sometimes you're going through certain things, man, and you just feel it in your body. Like, man, I'm just feeling uneasy. Tossing and turning, you can't sleep, you ain't eating. You know, you experience different things. I remembered the Most High and was troubled. I complained and my spirit was overwhelmed. So you're going to experience being overwhelmed in the spirit. You know, that's why the Lord wants you to call on him. You know, you can't save yourself out of, you know, these situations. Verse 4, thou holdest my eyes waking up late at night. So I'm troubled that I cannot speak. I have considered the days of old, the years of ancient times. So, you know, you got to reflect on, you know, the different things that happened in the past, man. You know, because that's going to comfort you. Oh, I remember when I went through this particular thing, the Lord did deliver me out of that too. Oh, man, yeah, the Lord was with me that one time. You know, you get to meditating on things in the spirit that will encourage your faith. You know, when you're going through low points and when you're experiencing the spirit of being overwhelmed, you don't want to just bask in misery. You know, you want to think about the good things that the Lord did for you, and that, you know, give you that boost of faith. You know, it says, I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with my own heart, and my spirit made diligent search. Will the Lord cast off forever? And will he be unfavorable no more? So sometimes you feel like that. Like, damn, where's the blessings? Where's the favor? You know? Is his mercy clean gone forever? Doth his promise fail forevermore? Have the Most High forgotten to be gracious? Have he in anger shut up his tender mercy? Selah. Here's a point. And I said in my infirmity, when you're going through shit, but I will remember the years of the right hand of the Most High. That's called integrity right there. You know, I will remember when the Lord was doing good for me. You know, I will remember the works of Yahweh. Surely I will remember thy wonders of old. And you remember different things that the Lord did for your forefathers, you know, our forefathers, Salakia, you know, and, you know, you remember things that he's done for you. You know, I remember where I was in the situation and the Lord performed a miracle for me, you know. So you want to remember those things, right? And here I'm going to end off in Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter. And these are reminders, you know, that you want to constantly read about. You know, when you read these precepts, it's not something that you've read once. You know, the brothers that I'm in contact with, the beloved brothers, we constantly read these chapters, you know, and every time we go into these chapters, we plucking off new fruit, you know. We're getting deeper insight on, you know, the different things that's being read. As you level up in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which that's given unto you from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, your understanding gets more clearer. These precepts, it gets more clearer and clearer, especially when you know, went through different experiences. It's Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Temptations is trials and tribulations. You're going to go through certain things in this faith. You know, you're going to go through certain things that you hear people of the world go through, but there's going to be a difference, though. All right. And the difference is the Lord is going to deliver you. You may hear about, you know, your cousin going through certain things, and then your cousin, his outcome was grievous, you know, like, damn, you know, but you can go through that same thing, and then the Lord is doing marvels. He's doing miracles. He's doing strange acts, you know. Certain things is working out in your favor in the same exact situation that your cousin was going into. Because at the end of the day, there's deliverance had for the elect, and Lord willing, we are part of that number. Ecclesiastes 33:1, there shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord. This is a man in the truth. But in temptation, when you go through trials and tribulations, even again, he will deliver them. So when you go through certain things, expect a deliverance. Have faith in a deliverance. And faith is was pleasing unto the Lord. So back in Ecclesiastes 2nd chapter, it says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, you doing the work, prepare thy soul, get your mind right for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. When you're experiencing trouble, don't be trying to figure out a quick fix. Sometimes you got to just sit back and let it unfold. See what the Lord do, you know? Because in the flesh, you're going to want to try to, you know, troubleshoot your problems and try to fix it, come up with a quick fix. But sometimes the fix is, let me just sit back and chill, pray, and see what the Lord do, you know? Or sometimes the Lord put the spirit on you, you know, put certain things in your spirit to do, and, you know, to talk to certain people, or, you know, or the Lord can have, you know, somebody, you meet somebody, they give you some information through the spirit. You know, when you're going through certain things in your life, you got to be in the spirit, you know. The Lord you can be at CVS. Here it is, you going through shit all day. You like, man, let me go. I need some water for the house. Let me go to CVS. Most I can have somebody behind you say something, and that'll spark something in your spirit, and then that can open up something for you to help you out in your situation. I done been, just from my personal testimony, which is not about my testimony, it's about the testimony of Yahweh Shah, which is the spirit of prophecy. You know, but we bring out these testimonies for the sheep, to build the sheep up. You know, there's been times when I'm dealing with a situation, I done prayed to the Lord how to, you know, do certain things, praying to the Lord to be with your mouth when you're handling certain legal matters. And then I go outside and somebody spark up a conversation with me, a random person, and they said something to me, And I'm like, wow, that's perfect. I can use that. And that's clearly the Lord channeling, that spirit through that individual to, give you an idea, you know? So when you're going through certain things, you got to be spiritual, and I'm learning more and more in the faith as I'm, bearing my cross, that you got to be in the spirit, man, the whole time. Verse 3, cleave unto him. You cleave unto the Lord by getting close to him by way of this truth, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Because at the end of the day, we want the favor, the mercy. We want the uh, mercies to be increased for us. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. It's not that you, jumping for joy and you happy, but you just understand that, hey, man, this is a part of the battle. We're going to go through particular things, and be patient when I'll change to a lower state. So sometimes you're going to be brought low, all right? For gold is tried in the fire, an acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. So you're going to go through things. I'm going to leave it at that. All right, didn't want to drag it out. Lord willing, it was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, the true names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. This has been Have Integrity in Your Low Points. Shalom.